So, you've made it to the United States. Congrats. You've got your visa, found a place to live, maybe even landed your first job. But now, as tax season rolls around, you're hit with a whole new challenge: the American tax system. If you're from Europe, where taxes are usually handled behind the scenes or with a short online form, you might be in for a shock. Today, I'm sharing my journey and my struggles navigating US taxes as a European, plus my top tips to avoid the most common pitfalls. The first shock: you mean I have to file myself. In many European countries, your employer or the government does most of the work for you. In the US, almost everyone is responsible for filing their own tax return every year, even if your employer withholds taxes from your paycheck. And if you get it wrong, you could face fines, penalties, or even legal trouble, federal, state, and sometimes city taxes. Unlike most of Europe, the US has multiple layers of taxes. Federal taxes, everyone pays these. State taxes, most states, but not all. City or local taxes in some places like New York City. Each has its own forms, deadlines, and rules. Your federal return goes to the IRS, but your state might have a completely separate portal, and sometimes you need to file both. W-2s, 1099s, and alphabet soup. The US loves its tax forms. If you're employed, you'll get a W-2. If you're a contractor or freelancer, you'll get a 1099. Got bank interest? That's a 1099-INT. Stocks? 1099B. The list goes on. The first time I opened my mailbox and saw all these forms, I thought I was being audited. The forms, more complicated than you think. The main form is the 1040, but there are dozens of schedules and add-ons. If you have student loans, foreign bank accounts, or even just a side hustle, you might need extra forms. And if you've moved states during the year, double the paperwork. Foreign income and double taxation worries. Here's where it gets especially tricky for Europeans. If you earn money abroad, have foreign bank accounts, or send money home, you might have to report it. The US taxes its residents on worldwide income, and there are strict rules about reporting foreign assets, FBA, RFATCA. Miss those, and the penalties are huge. Double taxation is a real worry. Luckily, the US has treaties with most European countries to avoid taxing the same income twice, but you'll need to fill out the right forms and sometimes claim a foreign tax credit. Deductions, credits, and what do you mean I owe money? The US tax code is full of deductions and credits, but figuring out what you qualify for is a challenge. There are credits for kids, education, healthcare, and more. But if you underpay during the year, you might owe money when you file. The first time this happened to me, I was shocked. I thought my employer withheld enough, but I still owed hundreds. Tax software, friend or foe? Most Americans use tax software like TurboTax, H&R Block, or TaxAct. These programs ask you questions and fill in the forms for you, but they're not foolproof, especially for expats or people with foreign income. I once spent hours on the phone with customer support because the software didn't understand my foreign pension. The dreaded IRS letter? Sometimes, even if you do everything right, you'll get a letter from the IRS or your state tax office. Don't panic. Most of the time, they just need more information or want to clarify something, but always respond quickly and keep copies of all your documents. Top tips for Europeans navigating US taxes. Gather all your documents early. W-2s, 1099s, foreign bank statements, proof of expenses. Get organised before you start. Check if you're a resident or non-resident for tax purposes. This affects which forms you file and what income you report. Don't ignore foreign accounts. If you have more than $10,000 in foreign bank accounts at any point in the year, you must file an FBAR. Use tax treaties to avoid double taxation. Research your country's treaty with the US and claim credits where possible. When in doubt, get help. Find a tax preparer who understands expat and international situations. It's worth the investment. File on time. The deadline is usually April 15th, but you can request an extension if needed. Late filing means penalties. Keep records for at least 3 to 7 years. The IRS can audit you years later, so keep everything safe. Lessons learned and a few laughs. I once tried to claim a deduction for moving expenses, only to find the law had changed the year before. Oops! My American friends were just as confused as I was, so don't feel bad if you struggle. The IRS isn't out to get you, but they do expect you to be diligent and honest. Final thoughts. Navigating US taxes as a European can feel overwhelming, like learning a new language, but with higher stakes. but with preparation, patience, and maybe a little professional help, you'll get through it. Remember, you're not alone. Millions of newcomers file taxes every year and survive to tell the tale. If you have your own tax horror stories or tips, share them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life advice about thriving in America. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching. We hope you found this video helpful as you prepare for your move to the United States. If you found value in the information and advice provided, please consider supporting the podcast on Patreon. Your donations will allow us to continue creating new episodes and videos to help even more people with their relocation to America. Just visit patreon.com/movingtotheus to sign up. Until next time, best of luck with your move.